my name is Jen Henley. I'm a teacher here in Broken Arrow, so I thought I'd bring you to my kindergarten classroom and show you my legal rights presentation on my smartboard. The smartboard's awesome when I have kids in here, so I can show them stuff big in front of them. So I figured it would be great to do my presentation on. So this is my legal rights presentation. This is for SPED 4433 at NSU. My introduction. It is essential for educators, teachers, and school staff to familiarize themselves with the rights students and their families have in an educational setting. There are numerous laws that have been put in place to protect students to ensure that they receive a fair and equal education. This is very important in schools. By being aware of the laws and making sure they are put into place, teachers can assist students at being the best they can be while not breaking laws. When laws are broken, legal action may be taken and lawsuits can be carried out. To protect students, parents, and teachers, everyone should learn and exercise their legal rights. So our presentation today is going to start with our definition of special education. We're going to talk about the 6 components of IDEA. We're going to talk about the rights of students, parents, and teachers, educational laws, and responsibilities. We're going to also talk about mandated reporting, which is extremely important, and it's very important in the teaching profession, and a lot of people may not know about it. We're going to go over some examples of court cases that have impacted education. We're going to talk about the impact on my classroom, the philosophy that I have on special education, educational team and the responsibilities that we have as a team. Finally, my conclusion, and then we'll end with my resources that I use to put this presentation together. Well, it really depends on where you look, what the definition of special education is. You can look all over the place and it may be worded differently, but the definition is still the same. According to our book, the textbook, Special Education in a Contemporary Society, special education is referred to specially designed instruction to meet the unique needs of individuals recognized as exceptional. So, according to the book, this is how they word it. It may be worded when you look at a different, I looked at a website which was the health of children and talked all about children, and their definition differed a little, but it still means the same thing. Their definition is, special education refers to a range of educational and social services provided by public school systems and other educational institutions to individuals with disabilities who were between the ages of 3 and 21 years of age. So this one's a little more specific. It gives the age range, but together they're both saying that it's designed instruction for children with special needs or unique needs or that are exceptional. Well, there are 6 components of IDEA. IDEA stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So the very first component of IDEA is free and appropriate public education, which can also be referred to as FAPE. Under IDEA, all children are required to be provided with an education that meets their needs, no cost to their parents or guardians, regardless of the severity of their disability. So a child cannot be turned away from receiving an education simply because they have a disability. IDEA makes sure that they are afforded a free, appropriate public education. IDEA also requires that schools provide individualized education plans, also known as IEPs, for students with disabilities. And we're going to learn more about IEPs in a few more minutes. The second component of IDEA is Least Restrictive Environment, also known as LRE. Students with disabilities should be educated alongside children without disabilities as often as possible. Children should be placed based on their personal education needs. So I have an example. I have taught kindergarten for a couple of years now, and last year I had a boy that mainstreamed into my classroom. There was a kindergarten, they called it a DDK class, where there were some children with special needs, and they would have an aide. They had a certified teacher, and then they had aides, and the aide would bring the child to the class. We had 11 kindergarten classes at the school I was at last year, so that we would divide them up into different classes, and I had one student that came to my class. His aide would bring him to my class. We started out a little bit at a time so that he could get acclimated to my classroom, and then we increased his time more and more as school went on. And then he started coming twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. So this would go along with the least restrictive environment. It's great for him to have that classroom that he's in with his peers, but it's also great for him to come to the general education classroom to be with the peers that he has in my classroom. So he can get a general education class, education in my class as well as those other. He also had a boat he would bring with him because he had special accommodations he needed. So he had this little tub that was his boat. He needed his personal space, and everyone in my class understood that this student had some special needs and he had accommodations for those. So if he felt he needed some space, he could go get in his boat and do his assignment in his boat. It was wonderful for him to come in and have his special things that he needed. He thought they were great, and all the other kids thought they were great and wished they could have their own boat too. I also have experience with reverse mainstream. When I used to teach pre-K when I lived in California, I taught a general education classroom, and right next door we had a special education classroom. And we would take, twice a week, we would take several of the kids over to the special education classroom so that those children could be in the least restrictive environment. We would bring them over and they would intermingle, work together, help each other.